Humanity is preparing to export its most powerful technologies, nuclear energy and artificial intelligence, beyond Earth's atmosphere. We are doing so without first resolving the moral failures that plague both industries right here on Earth. The crisis is simple to name and difficult to confront. We are building the future faster than we are building the moral intelligence required to govern it. AI data centers in space, powered by compact nuclear reactors, promise near limitless computational capacity and zero-gravity cooling efficiencies. They offer uninterrupted solar-shielded operation and strategic military and commercial advantages that are currently impossible on Earth. But they also introduce unregulated nuclear materials in orbit and catastrophic debris field risks that could last for generations. We face dual-use AI nuclear escalation pathways and opaque corporate control of our most critical orbital infrastructure. The moral crisis is not technological. It is institutional. We are repeating a dangerous, well-documented historical pattern. We deploy first, justify later, regulate never, and apologize only when forced. This is the foundation of our current institutional failure. Institutional failures begin with a regulatory vacuum. No binding global framework governs nuclear reactors in our orbit. There is zero governance for AI-driven autonomous nuclear systems, mirroring the regulatory capture I documented in my book. Corporate secrecy is the second failure. Private aerospace and AI firms already treat orbital infrastructure as proprietary, off-limits territory. Nuclear reactors in space would deepen this secrecy, making transparency and public accountability nearly impossible. Third is intergenerational neglect. Space-based nuclear waste remains hazardous for millennia, yet we have no plan for retrieval. There is no plan for long-term governance or containment, shifting the burden entirely onto future generations. Militarization, by default, is our fourth failure. AI data centers in orbit are inherently dual-use, strategic assets that become primary targets. This coupling amplifies systemic fragility. We are building a battlefield without consulting the global population living under these flight paths. Using the MMIAF, we must identify all morally relevant actors. We start with the primary actors driving this transition. Primary actors include aerospace and AI megacorporations, national space agencies, and military intelligence agencies. Secondary actors are the international regulatory bodies and scientific communities currently struggling to keep pace with deployment. The affected populations include every nation under an orbital flight path and future generations inheriting our nuclear waste. We must also include indigenous communities affected by uranium mining and the global public subject to these new escalation risks. The responsibility is skewed. Corporations hold the highest power with the lowest accountability, while the public holds the highest vulnerability. Let's apply the MMIAF dimensions. First, moral awareness. Recognizing that orbital reactors are global risk assets. Current awareness is profit-filtered. It ignores the fact that AI nuclear coupling creates unprecedented systemic fragility. Moral vision requires a future with transparent, democratic governance. We must ask for global consent for nuclear deployment in space. Our current vision is corporate-centric. We are prioritizing dominance over safety, repeating the errors of the early nuclear age. Moral understanding requires learning from history. Chernobyl, Fukushima, and 3 Mile Island all taught us the same lessons. Small failures cascade, secrecy kills, and delayed accountability only magnifies the harm. In space, these 3 factors are magnified. Moral courage would mean halting deployment until proper governance exists. It means resisting the intense military and profit pressures. Right now, courage is low. Decisions are made by defense strategists, not by ethicists, global publics, or the future generations who will pay the price. Moral communication requires honest risk disclosure. Instead, we are seeing marketing campaigns that mask the true cost of orbital nuclear AI. Let's perform a moral math analysis to calculate the true cost of this technological acceleration. The moral benefits are real. Massive computational capacity for science and a potential reduction in Earth-based energy consumption. But the moral costs are catastrophic. Orbital nuclear accidents and a debris field chain reaction that could trap us on Earth forever. This is extreme moral risk. We are creating waste obligations lasting 100,000 years with no retrieval plan and no owner for the liability. The moral opportunity is to democratize global computational access, but currently our MROI is negative due to ungoverned risk. We now assess the project's moral quotient using the scoring logic from nuclear power and moral intelligence. Awareness scores a 5 out of 10. It recognizes technical risks, but remains blind to the moral implications of orbital deployment. Empathy is lower at 3 out of 10. There has been zero engagement with the populations living under these reactors. Integrity scores a 4. Corporate values statements are systematically misaligned with the secrecy of these orbital actions. Stewardship and justice both score a failing 2 out of 10. We are shifting every burden to future generations with no plan for the waste. The overall MQ is a 3.0, a severe moral deficit that should halt any further deployment until reforms are met. This isn't theoretical. We are seeing rapid technological acceleration across the globe right now. DARPA's nuclear-powered Draco spacecraft and NASA's kilopower prototypes are already in development and testing. Private companies are already proposing orbital AI compute farms to bypass terrestrial energy and cooling limitations. China and Russia have also announced plans for space-based nuclear systems, creating a race with minimal moral oversight. We must demand actionable moral reforms before we export our failures into the stars. Here is the path forward. First, establish a global treaty on nuclear power in space that is binding, enforceable, and transparent for all nations. Second, require global democratic consent. No corporation may unilaterally deploy nuclear reactors over our heads. Third, create an international orbital nuclear waste authority responsible for retrieval, containment, and long-term stewardship. Fourth, mandate full transparency for AI nuclear systems with open reporting, independent audits, and public risk disclosures. Fifth, separate military and civilian AI nuclear infrastructure to prevent catastrophic dual-use escalation. Sixth, require M IAF certification before deployment. Seventh, build a global debris field containment strategy to prevent orbital weapons. If we export our technologies without exporting our moral intelligence, we will recreate our failures at planetary scale. Space will not save us from ourselves. It will only magnify who we already are. We are exporting the worst of us into the unknown. The question is not whether we can build these data centers. We can. The question is whether we are morally worthy of doing so. Right now, the answer is no, but it could become yes if we choose moral intelligence over acceleration. The choice is ours.